carved in stone divine. It's all about your top four, nothing more. Rushmore Show kicking down the door, ranking the icons, the greats we adore. It's all about your top four, nothing more.
This is the Rushmore Show, where it's all about your top four and nothing more. Andy, I forgot to send it out to everybody, and so I'm sending it out right now. So how are you, man? You were gone last week. Tell everybody what you were doing.
Yeah, so last week I was not here because I was invited to go preach at a youth retreat in Amite, Louisiana, the hometown of Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith, Roll Tide. So anyway, got to go preach out there. Had a great time. Had about 20 students out there, and it was pretty cool. It was at like a campsite. They didn't have slides for me like media, or they didn't have the capability to do that. So what they did is they opened up the back door and started a fire. So my backdrop was fire, which was really cool. But
awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's the first time I ever preached where there was mounted heads of deer in the same room. So it was a really cool experience. But yeah, no, it was a good time. So I was out there, but I'm back this week. I'm back temporarily because pretty soon I'll be in Argentina for pretty much all of November.
Hey, so who's in there? Grailbound Gaming. Hey, Grailbound. Hey, my man, Zach. We are going to be in touch with you very soon. We have not scheduled the exact dates for video games, but video games is coming up. It's coming up in January and February, and you mentioned you want to be on the show. Thanks for hanging out with us, but we need to find out which Thursday night you want to join us in January and come up with a topic. And so let's iron those details out. Isaac, yep, as I say always, Isaac, we can't wait to have you on again. Patrick's supposed to be on next week, but he can't make it. And Patrick, if those plans change, man, we'd love to have you jump back in. Barry B2 in the house. That guy on the right is the man, the co-host, the guy, and need to get Grill. Yeah, Grillbound is gonna be on. We've already connected, and we just got to figure out the dates, Isaac. But Isaac needs to be on as well. Let me drop some discords. Yeah, let's you know. Patrick said, let's you know. So I'm dropping up some things in the discords, by the way. Hey, speaking of that, while I'm doing this, guys, we're on all the socials at the bottom, including our amazing website. Andy, do you have something really cool that we now have that you can share?
If you direct your attention to the top left of your screen, right above Kirk's head, check this out. Boom! There's a QR code. Somebody test it out and let me know if it brings you to our website.
Yeah.
You know, StreamYard keeps giving us these new features and trying to entice us to spend $1 billion every year on them. But who knows? Like that QR code. Go check it out. There's a duck in the middle. It's all fun. But it'll bring you to our website. So
well, I think the duck, the duck is StreamYard, right? The mallard.
He's a mallard.
He's a mallard. Yeah, man. So, hey, we're going to have a good show tonight, or a fun show at least. Man, now the 6 is like on my eye, not 7, 6, 7. I hear that all day long, and we got to talk about it. Speaking of 6, 7, number 67 just ran across the screen. We're watching the Chargers and the Vikings. Who you got tonight? Oh,
Chargers, go.
Chargers. That's little known fact. The Chargers are Andy's top 4 favorite football team.
I do like the Chargers. I'm a Chargers guy.
He digs the Chargers a little bit. Andy, how's fantasy football going?
Well, I'm like 3-4. So I'm just, you win one, you lose one, you win one, you lose. I can't really get any consistency going. But I am in another
play each other this week, and I think we're both 3-4. So somebody's got to get off the schneid. They say
it's the massacre of the mediocre. That's what's happening this week. The massacre of the mediocre.
Yeah, the massacre of the mediocre. Daffy or Donald? Neither were mallards, right? This is probably I don't know. Were they mallards?
No.
Daffy was a all black duck, and Donald was an all white duck. I don't know. Daffy all the way. Daffy all the way. Daffy was funny. I will take Daffy in a contest.
Daffy was an American black duck, and Donald Duck was an American Peking duck. So
Peking, that sounds Asian.
Well,
right?
but he's the American version, I guess. So who knows?
Oh, okay. Well,
Duck Dodgers for sure. I mean, I know it's Daffy, but it was Duck Dodgers is the goat of animated ducks.
Yeah.
Are there other Oregon ducks? These not animated, but pop culture ducks. Anyway, let's not go down that rabbit hole. Or duck dive.
Good one.
Let's not do that. But
right,
what are we talking about
to...
tonight, Kirk? What we got going on?
So tonight's kind of a cool stream. We've kind of done something similar before.
Yeah.
We had Donald Duck has a unique voice for sure. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. He definitely has that going for him. Hey, so tonight is a cool thing, and sorry I'm not making eye contact. I'm kind of trying to drop. I'm doing two things at once, so trying to drop us all over the Discord. But we are gonna do your top 4 athletes, coaches, sports personalities, if you will, that you would want to go to dinner with or have over for dinner. And I think it's a very unique topic. We've done something similar, Andy. We did top 4 cartoon characters you'd want to have dinner with, or you want to be. It kind of is like, if you guys ever seen it, I just saw one the other day where it shows just like a cafeteria with a bunch of people at different tables, or a plane, and there's what seat are you going to sit in on the plane, and there's like different people sitting all on the plane. It's kind of like that idea. Unfortunately, the guy who actually chose this topic, Hammie Son, which is a great channel, he is not able to make it today. But we have, it's one of the reasons we usually get 2 people on, or 3 or more, is that if somebody can't make it for personal reasons, which is all good, that we have a fill-in, and we got a great one. And honestly, he's not a fill-in. We asked him before we even knew he wasn't going to be here. So I think we should get this thing rolling, Andy, and get the show moving. So today on Thursday, we're going to do top 4 athletes. We'll just go athletes that you want to have dinner with. Let's get it. Am I hitting it? I wasn't looking.
Oh, I thought you were. I got it. I can do it right now. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom. All right.
Yeah, I was doing the Discord thing, so I wasn't even
I fumbled on that one. That's my bad. It's dinner time. It's the time to invite one of our guests. Just like Kirk had said, a friend of the show. Goes way back with Kirk. He is a blast to have on the show. Always great conversation. And I always try to throw in something really controversial and when he comes on, just so we can, because I like the back and forth, and stick around to the Benjamins, and you'll definitely see that. But anyway, let's welcome in Kirk's captain, my captain.
Oh, captain, my captain.
Wisco, a.k.a. Alex.
Captain Wisco.
There you are.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me again, as always.
Thank you for joining us from college, or I can't tell what's back there. Is that Lambeau?
So it's home. No. So this is my military college. It's homecoming week at New Mexico Military Institute. And you know what? There is an athlete on my list that went to school there.
Okay.
And so
nice little teaser.
And as an LSU fan, Kirk, I'm sorry about this, but one of my fellow alumni just beat your team. He's a quarterback for Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
He went to school at New Mexico Military. They won the national championship for junior colleges a few years back. So, not that I'm a Vandy fan at all, but it's good to see when you have a small school guy.
Yeah, Vandy did win. I was worried about the game. I've been worried about the season. I haven't given up on the season as going to a big bowl, but I am.
There's a team out there that Vandy did not beat in the SEC recently.
Yeah, there is
from
one.
the great state of Alabama.
Yeah, there is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's that team.
Also,
that
Tennessee
team
didn't beat
lost
them.
to FSU
Or Georgia didn't beat them.
Next topic.
Yeah, so maybe they're a top 4 team in the country. But anyway, that's not my controversy tonight. Okay, so don't take that as that's not my controversial take. That's saving that for later.
Sure.
So athletes / coaches. Now, I wanted to mention this because you briefly talked about this because this could change things on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
You said, Kirk, sports personalities.
Oh yeah. Oh, so
Are we factoring in announcers?
Well, I figured in. And listen. I figured.
I didn't, but
somebody out there was churning to try and find somebody, so I'd assumed that we had made a move and was going to do that. I will say I went through the whole laundry list and I was going to see what you guys picked to see which route I was going. But I do have a few announcers and I have a few other personalities that could be used if my list gets depleted. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Some of my announcers are actually either athletes or coaches too.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, anyways, well, let's get this thing going. So, first off, Alex, you were on about a month or so ago, month and a half. Maybe the people in the chat don't know you, but Alex was my captain in Iraq. We spent I spent 8 glorious months out in the desert. And Alex, I believe you were closer to a year and some change. And then you gave me one of the greatest write-ups ever. You had guns up on it, which is hilarious for an Air Force guy. I have that paper somewhere. And that was fun. But we spent time in Iraq and with the Iraqi army, the first 4 battalions. When I left, the 4th battalion, or the 3rd battalion, I think just graduated, and the 4th battalion was starting, or the 4th was just done, and the 5th was starting. I can't remember. I know it was about 4 when I was there. And we had Black Hawks over watching the graduation
ceremony. Yep.
Yeah, and then we had a full-on basic training for these guys. It was an amazing time. So that's how we met. Barely stayed connected for the first 10, 15 years. Kind of just social media. Hello, how's it going? There's the like. And then about, I don't know, I know I was here because I was in this room when we did it. So it has to be in the last 8 years.
Yeah.
Probably more like 5 years ago. There was a message that came across and said, hey, would love to meet up with you guys. And we did like a Zoom, right?
Yeah.
And spent some time hanging out on a Zoom with you guys, just reconnected. And when we started the show, you were a huge fan in the background. And we're like, man, we got to get him on. And now that you're on, you're hooked, man. And we've had you now, I think this is the 3rd or 4th time. Yeah. And, man, we're excited to see where you go with this. Tell everybody, you don't really have like a YouTube channel or any of that. So a lot of times we have other creators, but tell everybody a little bit about yourself and then tell us what that people kind of know your fandoms, right? Because we're talking sports.
Yep.
Maybe shout out your fandoms so that we kind of know where you might be going. And then we'll get this party started.
So, hey, thanks, Kirk, for the intro. First of all, I'm actually back where I started. I'm actually living outside of Green Bay, Wisconsin. So you can imagine what my NFL team is. Green Bay
Right.
Packers, grew up with it for
Right.
years.
Not a Bears
it's
guy,
kind of-
huh? Not
Not
a
a
Bears
Bears,
guy.
not a Vikings guy either. I feel bad for Detroit every once in a while, but yeah. So I spent time. I left here. I went in the military for about 10 years. I ended up in Seattle, so I actually became a Mariners fan. So I was a little bit sad about a week ago when the Mariners lost, or that was earlier this week. It feels like a week ago.
I was sad too because
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, right.
now
So-
the World Series completely sucks.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been a fun series. And here's the thing: is I actually wanted Milwaukee to be in it because the
Yes,
shared history between the Mariners and the Brewers. There'd be no Brewers.
I was pulling
without
for
the
them
Mariners.
once my guys were out.
Yeah. But I also grew up as a Cubs fan. So I lived in Chicago for a number of years, lived right next to Wrigley Field. Greatest 3 years, a lot of fun just teaching ROTC, but also catching as many Chicago Cub games as I could while I was living there. As I said before, Seattle, big fan. Love the sports out there. Not a Seahawks fan, but I can respect it. Like I said, teams that I enjoy, obviously grew up in the Midwest. So in the 90s, Chicago Bulls was my team. I mean, you couldn't get better than that team in the 90s. And it still carries. I don't really watch a lot of NBA today, so I just kind of watch more college. From a college standpoint, went to school at Gonzaga, so obviously I'm a Zag. Went to college at Texas Tech University, so I'm a Red Raider. That's where the Guns Up comes from. And like I said, now I'm
Patrick
back
Mahomes!
and now I'm back in Wisconsin after like I said, moved back here in 2020. So I've been here 5 years now. So I love to be on the show. Love talking about pop culture and sports and anything else. So this is a great conversation. I like food, so why not? I was eating chicken pot pie earlier today.
I knew that because tonight was an athletes episode. We'd hear Patrick Mahomes mentioned. I just did not know it would already happen. It would be this early. So
Are you taking a tally already, Andy? You should put it on the wall.
I've given up. I've given up. I mean, it's inevitable.
It's
we could be talking
great.
about. We could literally have Rushmore of everything except the Kansas City Chiefs, and anything Patrick Mahomes.
He'll sneak it in
somehow.
Yep.
Kirk's gonna be like, oh yeah, and then
That's how
also
I feel with the Roll Tide.
the starter jacket. He would put the starter jacket on, and you'd be like, well, there it is. Sometimes it's not until like the 11th hour though for him, but this was early tonight, so
Yep.
you guys got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I like those Charger uniforms, especially the guy with the yellow cleats. That looks sharp. Man. Anyways, so let's get started, man. So we're going to talk top 4, 10 of you in here. Everybody, hello. If I've ignored you, I see Grailbound, Isaac, Barry, Alex. If you're out there lurking in the background, welcome. Hit the like button before you head out. That is probably the most valuable thing, I think, to us. I noticed that whenever the like gets above 30, we have a great stream. So if you could hit the like button, if you have other accounts, don't hesitate. Jump on in with those things. Hit that like, man. But here's the deal. We got a great show. So sounds like we will be kind of bouncing all over the United States a little bit. And I know you're just a sports fan and you're a history guy. So I know you would like to probably dig into some really good coaches or some really good things of history. And so here's let me just share this with everybody out in the chat. This is Papa. Papa was on last week. What's up, fellas? Papa, by the way, Alex, is a Chicago guy. So he's done a couple things around Wrigley Field and everything. Papa's a great guy. He was on last week, and we had a blast, man. So here's the deal. Here's the criteria, if you will. Not the criteria, but we're doing athletes, coaches. Really, any era is available. He doesn't have to necessarily be alive. But Andy kind of threw a little wrench in there. And listen, I said sports personalities, but here's the deal. If there's someone in and out of the sports realm, right? Like announcers, coaches, agents. I'm trying to think of anything else that
I don't want dinner with Drew Rosenhaus.
Yeah, I don't want
getting me a contract.
Maybe his paycheck. Let's send him the bill.
He
But you know who would be a fun one, and I don't have any of these guys on my list, would be a GM. A GM would be cool.
Not
Yeah,
Mickey Loomis. He'd be
Yeah,
chewing
not-
gum the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So let's get this road going. 4-3-2-1, 4-3 halftime 2-1, 5 in the chat. Everybody left after you said Mickey Loomis. Yeah.
It happens.
Anyways, let's get this thing going. So, Alex, you're first. Rosie is number 4 for Roosevelt. We all kind of know. I'm sure there's only 5 of you here. It's the real fans. You guys know how we do this. So, who would be your 4th favorite person to invite to dinner or to go to dinner with? Like,
Yep.
I was trying to think through this, by the way. Are we having dinner at my house, or are we having dinner at like a hotel?
Neutral site. Neutral site.
Restaurant? Are we having dinner at
Neutral site.
a
Neutral.
party?
It's
So
going to be neutral site.
that's
Now, you
clearly
can
up
choose.
to you.
That could be part of your criteria.
Yeah,
too.
that's
There you go.
clearly up to you and your criteria how you drop it. But man, I was kind of thinking of that throughout the process too. Man,
Okay.
Chargers about to score already. So here we go. You're
Here we
up
go.
first. Who is your Rosie?
Or what were you thinking?
All right.
What's your criteria?
Oh yeah, criteria.
So criteria, honestly, I looked. So this was by committee. I'll warn you up now. I asked probably about 10 people to say, "Hey, give me your list. What do you guys think?" And then bounce it off of my list. So I went, I had Chicago people. I had people in the area. I had people I haven't seen in a while. I said, "What do you guys think?" My criteria is also looking to see if I can hit one sports per on the top 4, right?
Yeah.
So football, basketball, hockey, baseball. I almost threw soccer in there at one point. But my Rosie, Andy, you'll appreciate this because it's historical. So played for the Green Bay Packers. Won consecutive championships with them.
Yeah, do it.
Let's see. Once, I almost went Vince Lombardi, but it's not Vince Lombardi, but he played for him.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, he is one of those Packer players that really established the organization and brought him back, especially in the 60s. And he went to a school somewhere in the South.
Yeah, he did.
So my choice for my Rosie is Bart Starr.
Yes, it is.
You can't get more than a consummate gentleman than Bart Starr. You can look at all the other quarterbacks. We have Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love. They all are connected back to him.
And Ty Detmer. Didn't you have Ty Detmer? Come on. Don't forget him.
All right. Okay. Anyway, and so moving on. So when you think about Bart Starr, what he did for the community here, how he put Green Bay on the map, I would love to have a conversation. It's like, what were you thinking during the Ice Bowl? Like, I mean, you see the documentaries, you see the videos, you've seen the interviews, but just sitting down and hearing the stories of like, what was it really like putting that team together? Because I mean, that's a legacy team. I mean, that was a team. You find one bad spot on those Packer teams, and you can't find a weak spot at all. So what was it like to play on a team where it's pretty much had superstars, but weren't superstars because of the market on one team? But also, as you're going into the Ice Bowl, what was your thought process? Because, like, obviously, he scored last seconds, negative 45 degrees. What was your thought on that? So that was my criteria, and that's my Rosie.
I love this pick. Oh, that's a great one. Bart Starr is I mean, you think of those just vintage NFL films. Bart Starr is the kind of guy that you envision, especially the first Super Bowl highlights, and like everybody felt like they were moving like 4 miles an hour, like they were just, and they were all 45 too. Yeah. It's weird, but yeah, I love that. When I think Bart Starr, I think NFL films, I think Green Bay, I just think of the frozen tundra. Like that's like
As soon as he said Bart Starr, that tune just dropped in.
Yeah, and Andy, I thought you would like it, obviously, because of the school that he went to. I mean,
where did he go?
Alabama.
Oh, that's right. He won the Orange Bowl against Syracuse in 1953. Yeah. That's right. Okay.
But
SEC championship.
He actually moved back to Birmingham.
He did, yeah.
That's where he passed.
Yeah.
But 2019 he passed. So like I was just thinking, man, you brought up a good point. You'd ask him about the Ice Bowl, and I was like, man, what would I ask him? Okay, so like in just kind of racking my brain, I thought this might be fun. Just kind of think about what I would ask that same person. He's obviously not on mine. One, I don't have a fandom of the Packers. And two, back then the Packers and my Chiefs were kind of the it, man, because that was the AFC NFL merger, and the Packers and the Chiefs were at it in Super Bowls in the beginning. So, but what would I ask him? A couple things that I would think of immediately if I had him for dinner today, and we're just kind of over a meal. I would ask him what he thought about the quarterback play today, because it's much different, right? Looking at pictures, I was just kind of impressed. Like they're all kind of like the same. Like, you got the Heisman pose, and then you got the old quarterback pose. Nobody throws like that anymore. But like what they thought, being mobile quarterbacks. I remember like Randall Cunningham time, Warren Moon, the early 80s, when they start to scramble out the pocket, they're like, wait, what? What are you doing? Like, you're not a running back. You got to throw the like. How would he feel about modern day football? The lack of the rules, the not toughness, just all that. Like, that's probably what I would probably dig in on. And then I'd also think, obviously, I would ask him the question, like, who do you think's better, Favre or Rodgers and all of that?
Who's your best successor?
Right. Yeah. I think
not named
Magic Man Dan Mikowski.
There you go. There's another one. Yep. Well, and that's the thing is you think about, you see images all the time. You see the images of the three, right? You see Favre, Rodgers side by side, similar, but it's once again, it's one of those things where that team put Green Bay on the map again, because nobody really is talking Green Bay up to that point, because he came around the same time as Lombardi came a year after him, right? He played on, Lombardi got him as a quarterback and didn't know if he was going to keep him or not at one point, so he had to learn how to play within that system. So it's just a really interesting conversation. What were those early days like? But then the other part of that too is like, what is a kid from Alabama? What does he think about playing in probably the coldest conditions and still being successful? Yeah. So
I know back in the day, they actually took that into an account.
Yeah.
Like, this like if you were in Miami, right, you played for the U, they were like, no, he can't come up here and play for the Patriots. This guy has been in the U for in sunny Florida. He doesn't know how to play in the cold. I know they used to take that kind of stuff into account. So that is a good point.
It's a good pick. I like that. Bart Starr, way to start it off. I knew there'd be some Packers.
Bart Starr with 2 R's.
But if you're doing four sports, if that's what you wound up doing, you got your Packer off the board already, man.
I did. Yep.
There you go.
That was a hard one too.
There's a lot of Packers to pick from, like you said. I mean, there could.
I
think to Isaac's point, I don't think I would want to have dinner with Rodgers because he seems like a jerk, but also he'd try to be passing you some extra herbs, I believe.
Yes, he would.
For your plate. And,
he's a strange,
not the kind of dinner I want to have.
No.
I don't want to have self-reflection time. Right. But anyway, good pick. Way to start it. Kirk, am I second? I was off last week, so I don't remember. Am I still in the 2 slot?
I think you are second for sports, and then I will be
it'll shift in food.
For food.
Got it. Okay. All right. So I'll go ahead and start mine. Mine, I didn't really put a lot of thought into it in the sense of like I didn't overcomplicate the criteria. I did try to diversify and not just do all football. I didn't necessarily say I'm going to pick one from every sport, but I wanted to make sure I was kind of divvying them up a little bit. Really, to me, it's centered around what kind of conversation either I'm going to have, kind of like what you were talking about there. Like, what are the questions I'm going to ask? What is the conversation going to be? But also, man, when I'm having dinner with somebody, whether it's friends, family, whoever, like, I want to have fun. You know what I mean? Like it's enjoyable to go somewhere. So I thought, hey, we're going to go to a fun restaurant or somewhere, again, like we said, a neutral site where it's not just at my house that we're just grilling. I mean, and that's cool and that's fun. But like somewhere where some of my picks are maybe potential danger of being kicked out of the restaurant, but that adds to it. So, yeah. So and then I tried to. I thought of some kind of off the wall ones that maybe I'll save for later, and we'll see how the cookie crumbles, as they say, right? So I am going to start with my Rosie, and my Rosie was a guy that added late to my list because honestly, my brain just wasn't going here for what did the with sports and things like that. And this is just not what I was thinking, but he absolutely had to make my list. If you have watched the show at all, you know that I have a fandom of this tremendously. What this guy has done for the sports world, what he has done for pop culture even has been insurmountable. That's a great word. But also there's a family tie-in to this guy. And I'm talking none other than Tony Hawk is going to be my Rosie. I would love to have dinner with Tony Hawk. I wasn't thinking the extreme sports world, skateboarding, that deal. But man, immediately when I thought him, I was like, I got to talk to him. A lot of the conversation for me would be, like, hey, how does it feel being this is innovator, the 900, the whole video game side of things, the culture that you've really ushered in, the fact that you, and it's not just Tony Hawk, but when we look at the skateboarding world, it was something before Tony Hawk, and then Tony Hawk shifted it to this totally different thing. And of course, there have been people since then who have continued it, and he's more in the kind of founder role and like that senior kind of guy role now. But what he did for the sport in itself is just amazing to see. I mean, for anybody,
Bones Brigade, baby.
Bones Brigade. But also for me, it would be, man, tell me about those early days skating in the parks. So I've shared it before. My dad grew up in that same scene in Southern California around the Stacy Peraltas. He's told me stories before of being in the skate parks and skating with a young little punk kid who turned out to be Tony Hawk. He was in that same area, and they just used to always be like, man, they would rag on him all the time because he was just younger than them. But he tells me all the time he was skating circles around us, literally and figuratively. Like he was just doing things even as a young kid that would just boggle your mind. So I have to go Tony Hawk. I just think this would be a really fun thing. And then I would hope that after dinner we could maybe we're eating at I don't know. I don't go to bars, right? Okay, but maybe it would have to be for this reason that it would also be a karaoke night. And then so here I am doing everything I can. If that song came on, like if me and Tony Hawk can duet karaoke to Superman by Goldfinger, man, I mean, that's just a bucket list item right there. But yeah, we talk about Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Underground, all that kind of stuff. Tony Hawk, my Rosie.
Man, what a good pick. So let me just, Bones Brigade, Thrasher movie had a cameo in Lords of Dogtown. We talked about all of that, Papa, back in the Extreme Movies. Religious fanboys in the house, welcome, buddy. But I did want to call out Barry. Barry has showed his cards. He's going Bo Jackson, Auburn guy, Charles Barkley, Auburn guy, Larry Bird because it rhymes with Larry, and Nolan Ryan, the best pitcher of all time, because we know Barry knows what's up. He threw that nod out to Papa. Goldfinger rocks, Goldfish gets rocks. What? Sean's in the house. Sean, man, we miss you, man. Welcome to the show. Hey,
Goldfish, kick rocks.
Yeah. Tony Hawk, good pick. I didn't think you were going here when you were kind of, you're laying the breadcrumbs out. But this is a great pick, and it makes sense because I've been around. So I've been around, seen what you've been doing, talking about your dad, Lords of Dogtown, that whole jazz. What would I ask Tony Hawk? Here's what I would ask him. Like when I was a kid, we always wanted to like be inventors. Like that was a job. And like just invent things, like maybe
for
like
the inventing store.
like Gremlins, or the Gremlins dad, he was the inventor, or like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So we were always trying to invent things, and our favorite thing to invent was new games. And like he is the innovator of this. Like obviously he didn't invent skateboards, right? But there is no X Games. There is no the way this went down without guys like Tony Hawk and those guys in California. I would just probably want to lean in and just dig in, like, what were the beginning days of that? How did it feel that first time you were skateboarding? How many tries do you think you took before you landed the 900? What was it like to be a kid from Cali skateboarding and land a video game deal? Like things like that would be the questions I'd probably throw at him. Good pick, man. Tony Hawk was our childhood, man. It's and the crazy thing is seeing him now, he still skates crazy, and he's like almost 60, right? And so he's doing like 900s at 58 or whatever he is. I don't know how old he is now, but Andy, I thought about you this week. Saw someone, hit the wrong one. Saw someone dressed as Brickma from Rookie of the Year, and I thought you'd look great as that for a Halloween costume. That's awesome. Rookie of the Year. Papa called Rookie of the Year out last week in Inspirational Movies. What a great pick. Tony Hawk opened up a skate park in Logan Square by us for the kids. Barry, great pick on Nolan Ryan. Yeah, I knew you'd like that one. So last week we did Inspirational Sports Movies, and Papa from the Chicago area obviously took Rookie of the Year. But yeah, good stuff, man.
I forgot to throw one on there. So this is a much later one. The Rookie. Dennis Quaid is
that's a great one.
It is a great movie.
I remember crying in The Rookie.
How many times did we watch that on Rack? I swear, Kirk, we watched that a lot.
And when
it's like it was one of the DVDs that they sent to us. Remember?
Yeah. Well, my sister was sending DVD after DVD after DVD.
Band
of Brothers, man. Band of Brothers.
Yep. Tony Hawk, how do I feel about that? Great pick, Andy. I would have expected it from you after the video games and all that stuff. I remember you were putting that one on there quite a bit. I'll be honest, never was a big skater. Never didn't really know about it, but obviously knowing enough about Tony Hawk tells you how much he transcended into probably the mainstream, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Skating was always kind of seen, like you're right, X Games, some of the other stuff out here, but how he transcended into mainstream media, sports, tells you a lot of the respect that he got. And I'm sure, I'm like Kirk, I would love to say, how did you know when you broke through? Like when people started respecting you and the sport? And I think that would be a great question, because you ask any athlete, they're like, yeah, we know who Tony Hawk. I mean, you go internationally. Was it last year during the Olympics, right? Everybody know who Tony Hawk was worldwide. So when did you know when you made that breakthrough? And I think that would be a great conversation with him.
Yeah. It's a good pick, man. I like this. I like where we're going. Bart Starr, Tony Hawk. These are cool last names.
Yeah.
Last name, Star Hawk. Okay. Sounds like we're a video game. Let's tell me about, I'll tell you about my criteria tonight. I really enjoyed this topic. 12 of you here. If you're here, make sure you hit the like button. Welcome. If you're lurking and you're new, we're discussing top four sports people you would like to eat dinner with or go to dinner with. So let's jump into mine. Here's my criteria of what I was thinking about tonight. Number one, who is somebody that I could talk historically with them about either their team or their sport, or they probably have lots of accomplishments, or in that realm. Second, do I like the team? So I mean, I'm probably not picking, a great Falcon player because I don't care. I don't care about those conversations. So it's probably going to be in some of my fandoms, at least a little bit. And then last but not least, this is my favorite one. And I was kind of thinking, I was like, so if I invited these guys over to my house, right, and I give, say, Andy a call, right, I don't want Andy just coming by himself, right? So Andy's going to bring his wife and his kids, and hopefully, maybe somebody from the church or whatever. So who's the entourage that might crash our party? Who are the people that may show up knowing that we're having a great dinner and they're like, boom, they're here, or like, hey, give our guys a call, make sure they bring this food. So all mine, I was thinking of it being at my house and what they're going to bring to the table. My first one, I probably would have liked this guy to come to my house or my party, my dinner party, if you will. I would have loved him a whole lot more back in like 15 to 20 years ago, or even longer. My high school days, early college days, early military days, whatever. Yeah, and let me tell you, this guy has an entourage of people that he could be bringing. Everything from his wife to his best friends. Andy, I kind of thought you might be going here because you said some things like pop culture and whatever. But I'm going with what? Stone Cold Steve Austin. And because here's the thing. I am such a wrestling fan, been a wrestling fan my whole life. And what, of course, is Stone Cold bringing? He's bringing the beer, right? And I'm sober. I don't need him to bring the beer. But what's some of the best things that you have with beer is burgers and wings. I'm hoping he's bringing that old Texas rattlesnake steak. Look, you bring that Texas food on over. That's what I want. I'm going Stone Cold. And what's the entourage, man? The entourage that I'm telling him, hey, call the Undertaker, right? Call The Rock. I want to smell what The Rock is cooking. I kind of left a little nugget of that on our Instagram post today. But call Vince McMahon. I want to pick the brain because as a kid, I wanted to wrestle. Like what it took to go through. And what I love about Stone Cold is he started in WCW, went to ECW, went to WWE, was written off, didn't have the longest of careers like some of these other guys, had a shorter career, but the impact he made on wrestling today he is a legend. And I would just want to ask him the stories, like how, like when you were fighting Jake the Snake and the Austin 316 came up, like how did that feel the first time you heard that pop? The first time you knew you got over? Tell me about Flying Brian Pillman with the Hollywood Blondes. He passed, all the megastars from Ric Flair to Sting that he's ever wrestled with. Tell me about Kane, the Governor, whatever it may be. Let's talk wrestling. One of my favorite shows, Andy, right now is these wrestling biographies or the wrestling shows where they go back and they're trying to find like artifacts of like mankind's masks and all this. Just talking wrestling with him would just be, dude, sitting over the table. And hopefully he brings the beer because I think the drunker he got, the better the stories would be. I just don't want to tick him off because, I don't want him going off in my house. You know what I mean? So I'm going Stone Cold Steve. What? Steve Austin.
Yeah, I think that's the question. The question that I would ask Stone Cold was, what? What? No, I you better hope you don't have a bedpan just lying around because he's been known to get.
Hey, my future son-in-law, Ethan, and my daughter McKenna are tuned in.
Nice.
Tuned in. Carson, hey, McKenna used to love wrestling. She doesn't really love it that much.
McKenna,
Carson,
what was the
Carson
top
barely
wrestler?
liked wrestling, but now Cannon is into wrestling. And matter of fact, this right here, I gave this to Cannon. I bought this at one of our conventions. Gave it to Cannon. It is a exclusive from 7-Eleven. And I gave it to him. And for my birthday this year, this is what he gifted me. He gave me the pop I gave him. So
Nice.
that's awesome. So, yeah, hard to pick between legends and ones. Aaron Brown says that would make a good mix at the dinner. Like Jordan is a legend, but I don't think he's much of a talker. Yeah, exactly.
That's
I
true.
thought through that too. I thought through some of those things. Religious Fanboy says my top 4: Kenny Omega, Undertaker, AJ Styles, Sting. Oh, top 4 wrestlers of all time.
Right.
I like those picks. One or two of those guys might make my mountain.
I like
Actually,
this-
AJ
I like the
Styles
Stone
is
Cold
from
pick.
Gainesville, right up the
Yeah.
street from me. Right up the
Yeah.
street. Not too far. Tell me about
Yeah.
Stone Cold, guys. There he is.
There he is.
What?
What?
I like this pick. I've been watching Biography WWE Legends, and if you haven't watched that, it's free on Tubi. But you should check it out. It's like 3 or 4 seasons, and the first episode is Stone Cold. So that was the first one I watched. Talked about his career back with the Hollywood Blondes, and the transition into the Stone Cold Steve Austin thing was really, really
He
interesting.
talks about Johnny Dangerously too, which is now Paul E. Heyman.
Yeah,
He
and
goes through all
there's a lot of people who in the wrestling world consider Stone Cold the greatest to ever do it for what he did for the wrestling, which is crazy because of how short relatively of a career he had compared to some of these other guys.
Yeah.
Almost every time they ask somebody who's on your mountain, he's one of the 4.
Yeah. So very respected in the game. But yeah, I love this pick. I love the Stone Cold pick. This is Attitude Era. This was everything I was when it came to wrestling. Man, I would just let him have the floor and talk. You know what I mean? He's really good on podcasts.
His
too.
podcast, Broken Neck, is awesome.
Yeah. So that's a really, really cool. I'd want to like talk to him about his like ranch and stuff that he had. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff.
He a really good dude too. Every time he's very well respected usually. Not like Hogan where everybody's like, he blew up and everybody said he hated him. But most people respect Stone Cold.
I'd also want to know about because I brought it up in sports rivalries, like one of my favorites. I'd want to hear all the stories about him and McMahon.
Yeah.
Just that back and forth. So yeah. Love the pick.
Yeah, Andy, I'm going to touch on what you said too. Is like it was a new era. If you think about kind of when he came in, kind of how one was closing out. One era was closing out, the new era was coming in. He really set that part of it, right? I mean, he was kind of one of the established, and he really brought that Attitude Era coming in, and all of a sudden that became accepted. Once again, it's another person. It's a groundbreaker, right? Did he invent wrestling? No. Did he make it that much better off of like what it was? Absolutely. And I think that's
I will
set
say
up.
this, Alex.
That was set up.
I was thinking about it. When I was in Iraq, that was 2004, 2003, 2004.
Yep.
That's the time that I think I kind of stopped watching wrestling for that 8 months. I didn't get to watch it as much. I saw some clips online in between Rosie's roadmaps and whatever. But here's the thing. I didn't get to watch it that much. So when I came back, new stars, new people, and Stone Cold was kind of going on a retirement tour because of his neck and his knee. That's some of the reasons I quit watching. But now I'm back, man. And Cannon and I love it.
Yeah. No,
I would challenge that
solid
the wrestling over the last 2 years has been some of the best wrestling I've seen in 20 years. 20 years. Anyways, all right. Well, we're back to you, Alex. No need for anything crazy. We're going to TJ Jazzy Jeff. This is number 2 on the mountain. Who's the next sports icon that you are welcoming over to the
Okay.
house, taking out to dinner? Who's paying the check?
You were talking about beer earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and just
There it
have
is.
one first, really quick. Oh, that's good. That's a good Miller Lite. It's a really good Miller Lite. This next one, I had a really hard time. I said earlier, I'm a Chicago Cubs fan. Love the Cubs. Harry Carey, great listening to him. I mean, everybody in WGN, everybody listened to WGN knew him, right? Harry Carey.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
But my next one, I will tell you, baseball. Recently passed away.
Yes, I know. Go.
I mean, he would be so much fun at dinner. So much after a few drinks, he'd be even more fun. Miller Lite's obviously definitely one of the top things that he was able to also bring into not in mainstream, but just make it that much more popular. So I am definitely be talking about Bob Uecker.
Oh, Bob Uecker.
So,
and the other side,
yep,
flip side, another guy who passed
flip
away.
side. Right. So
I said Rhino.
Yep. So Bob Uecker, once again, is Milwaukee. Small market team. I have lots of family and friends that are big Brewer fans, and that's great. And I can respect them for that. And you go, I've gone to Miller Park or whoever else, Miller, whatever it's called these days. But it's just fun. He makes it fun to listen to. It's just, you can see him everywhere, what he brought to the city of Milwaukee, but even to the state of Wisconsin. Bob Uecker is just a solid pick. You watch his career; he was one of the worst baseball players out there.
Just a bit outside.
And when you watch him in the movies, thank you. And you watch him. I mean, he was selected that for a reason because he was such a great play-by-play commentator, color guy. For baseball, that him in Major League, classic.
Tried the corner and missed.
So for me, that's my next one.
I like that pick.
Cheers to Bob Uecker.
I would ask him, hey, if he was eating at my house, I would say, hey, we got good weather. Do you want to eat at the dinner table? In hopes that he would say, just a bit outside. That would be fun to have. Mm-hmm. But I like this pick. I mean, having an announcer is going to build in. He's going to be a great talker because think about it. Any of these great MLB announcers, in most of their games, they have to find something to talk about. Like it's not all the time that the games are just like
one hit. Like
we suck again.
They start talking, and that's one of my favorite things. Is and again, obviously Bob Uecker who we're talking about, but just as a whole, the baseball announcers thing is like, hey, did you see that hot dog up in the stands? You could just we would never stop having conversation. No. This is it's a built-in great talker.
It is, and if you bring in some of the other people in. You imagine he would just start pulling people in those conversations. And once that'd just be a fun.
Hey, so I just want to shout out. Going. I put Dustin's comment up there. Welcome to the show, Dustin.
Oh yeah, he's one of my classmates.
Macho Man would bring Elizabeth, who didn't. Right, and so I was thinking Stone Cold would have brought Deborah. Puppies, but anyways, that was a long time ago. Papa agrees. He says, totally thought it was Rhino, being a Cubs guy, and you just said he passed away. So just a bit outside. That was unscripted, and a lot of his stuff was on the cuff in the movie. So with that being said, obviously I would ask Uecker all about the movie. The movie made him iconic. Matter of fact, I didn't even know. I remember when the movie came out, I didn't even know he played baseball. I didn't even know he was a real announcer. He was that good. You almost think he's an actor. But, because when that movie came out, I was young. And then I learned quite a bit about him over the years. He's such a great personality. During the All-Star game that was in Milwaukee, I remember them highlighting him quite a bit. But it says this guy on January 16th posted this on Facebook. It says, in honor of Bob Uecker, some of his best lines from Major League. When this guy sneezes, he looks like a party favor. This guy threw at his own kid at a father-son game. Personally, I think he got hosed on that call. You can close the books on Kellner. Thank God. Vaughn, a juvenile delinquent in the offseason. Here's my favorite. Ball 4, ball 8, ball 12. Boy, how can these guys lay off pitches this close? And, of course, just a bit outside. Oh, yeah, and there's a couple others on here that have some language. But, man, Euchre is awesome. In Major League is way high on my baseball movies and my sports movies Rushmore. So, good.
I'm gonna give you a little trivia too. This is for both of you guys.
Okay.
He was the announcer, the ring announcer for the main event, Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 3.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Did not know that.
That's awesome. I like this quote. So I was just looking up quotes by Bob Euchre, just not necessarily from.
Oh, like from his actual.
Yeah. So
announcement.
This is a great one. He said, "I led the league and go get them next time."
Yeah.
How good is that? And then he said this. This is the one at the top of here. It says, "I knew my career was over. In 1965, my baseball card came out with no picture." So good.
He was funny, man.
Yeah.
Man, what a good pick. What a good pick.
Yeah.
So Bob Euchre's your baseball guy, and Bart Starr is your football guy. This is good. Also, I thought about this. What if all 4 of our guys came to the same table?
Ooh.
I forgot to mention that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. So,
I've got a fun table. Now that I'm thinking of it that way, this is going to be a fun table.
All right. So Andy, I mean, there's only a matter of time before we get to probably 2 guys that I could think of.
Yeah. Well,
so this one I think might be this one's the one I'm kind of leaning in and then like, I don't know who's going to pick. I don't know.
Well, we'll
actually, wait, I might nail this out. I don't
know if you got, I mean, it's not going to surprise anyone what I pick, but I could go so many different routes.
Well, I don't know. I think I have 2, maybe 3. I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, this guy is the next on my list. He's my TJ Jazzy Jeff. He is, man, when it comes to this sport, he's my GOAT. He's just the GOAT. He just is. There's no debate for it for me. Yes, Bryce, I'm back. I'm glad to be back. And Bryce, I'm so
Bryson House. Oh,
Bryce
Aaron's dropping some knowledge. My top 4 for dinner: Tony Hawk or Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
Andy Robertson. That's a soccer player. He's hilarious. Everybody's favorite uncle. David Beckham, Bend It Like Beckham, and Shaquille O'Neal, the big Aristotle. It's honorable mentions: Zlatan.
Yeah. All right. So this guy is the GOAT in his field. And you can debate me all day, but there's just no way around it. My TJ Jazzy Jeff, rest in peace. I'm going Taker. I mean, come on. If I'm bringing a wrestler, now it was going to be Stone Cold. Like if I was thinking wrestling, I did factor in what's he going to bring? He's going to bring beer, and it's just not what I necessarily want to be around.
What's Taker bringing? That's what I was thinking.
Taker is bringing the heat. I don't know what he's bringing. He's going to bring his motorcycle.
He's bringing dead meat. He's bringing dead.
I like dead meat, so that's good. But anyway,
he's bringing dead animals.
Bring all the dead animals. But here's the thing. Taker, for me, would be because he's my favorite wrestler. But also, man, when it comes to 6 Feet Under podcast, this is one of my favorite podcasts.
I loved it before him and his wife took over.
Yeah, when he had the other guy that he was kind of ribbing all the time. But he's a great talker. He's another one of those biographies that I watched where you follow his whole career, being Mark Calloway and just the Big Red and all of these different things. Then getting the Undertaker character and all of that. It's really cool how that all came about. I have so much to ask him about. He is also a born again believer, so we'd have some pretty cool. I believe conversation.
That's a good question.
In terms of that too. Wait, which Taker, dead man or American? I'll take any fashion that they come in. I think that
Retired.
I think the retired one now. I think the laid back just guy that is now. I don't know if like bringing Deadman like that character to dinner would be very enjoyable.
Maybe
It'd be like,
for
dude,
Halloween.
stop being weird. Stop being weird. Just come here. Come to the table, right? He's like,
Are you showing your cards for next week, Andy?
well, maybe he'd be like fashioning a coffin in the corner or something. Like, dude, come eat. Dinner's ready. Like, come on. But yeah, I as long as now to your point, I don't want Paul Bearer to be there. Like, I don't want that guy.
He can bring
He
Mankind.
can go outside.
He can bring
He can go outside.
Kane.
Yeah, as long as we don't eat on top of a Hell in a Cell, I think we're good, at least for my own safety. But yeah, I'm going Undertaker. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. I'd have so much conversation with him just about wrestling, about the Hell in a Cell match, about changing, about the whole him and
Don't
Kane
bring
thing,
Mabel.
about
Don't bring Mabel, King Mabel. He's gonna eat the whole house away.
I don't really want much of the
Viscera.
Yeah, Viscera. Definitely don't want him at dinner. Although he looks like he eats well, so maybe they would bring a lot of food. But yeah, so that's my pick. I'm going Undertaker.
It's a good pick, man. This is a really good pick, and I thought about it. So wrestling came in as a late entry because originally when you're talking sports, you don't always put wrestling there immediately, but as you start digging, it always finds its way. Or the Boogeyman. Well, the Boogeyman might get mentioned next week. Which next week, by the way, we're talking about scary or dark gimmicks of wrestling. So it's Halloween. So, but I was thinking about him, but when I thought Entourage, it changed the game. Because to me, Undertaker's Entourage is for dinner family isn't necessarily as cool as what I thought Stone Cold, except my brain kind of clicked while you were just chatting. Triple H and all those guys, they're called the Clique, right? But they're not always together, but they are together. Like they were all best friends. Nash, they were all best friends. Undertaker had his own clique, the Posse, which some street posse, I can't think of what it was, but it was Savio Vega, him, the guy from the Godwins.
Rikishi.
It was Rikishi. It was Yokozuna. And it was the Godfather.
Yeah.
That was his like best friends on Entourage. That would be a fun little conversation.
I mean, can you imagine though having the Brothers of Destruction at dinner?
A big table.
I mean, like nobody's messing with you at your table. I'd go eat wherever, and I'd feel safe.
Yeah,
if they were on my side, if I invited them to dinner.
And also
think about this. Think about this. I like going to again because of the Entourage. I like going to a hibachi grill, and Kane could just light the hibachi grill on fire for us.
I might be wrong with this. You can fact check me, but I think Undertaker lives somewhere in the Tennessee area, because and the reason I know this or kind of feel like
he's a Texas guy.
Yeah, I know he lives. I know he's from Texas and he has Texas ties, but I think for whatever reason he has a home or whatever in like Nashville or something. I don't know. But his daughter plays softball. And it has been mentioned in times, not at the same tournament, but at another tournament that Undertaker was there. And it was like in the Tennessee area. Can you imagine the umpire?
He's got his glasses and his bandana on. And
Yeah. Agent Smith, long time no see. $1 Million Man has the best entrance music, hands down. That is debatable. It's a good song. We've already done entrance music. If you want to check that out, Agent Smith. But thanks for being here, man. We really appreciate you.
Wild to say that when DX has a theme song.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's hard to say. All right. Well, I guess it's my turn. And so this person most definitely had to be on my mountain. Thinking history, thinking legacy, thinking of Entourage, thinking of the conversations that we would have. One, just learning how to be a athlete in the spotlight. I think this guy might have done it the best out of anybody. I'm going with number 2. Not that number 2. I'm going with Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter. Listen, I'm going with Derek Jeter. Here's the deal. I'm a Yankees fan, obviously, but bring the core 4 over, bring Joe Torre over, bring all the rings over. Tell us the stories of being on the road as being the captain of the Yankees. Now, nowadays it's Judge, and Isaac mentioned Judge in the chat. But when I thought about history, wanted to talk about history, his story, his 30 for 30 is one of my favorites. That's like a bingo face. John Cena's. But just all the things we could talk about. The guys that he's had manage him, the guys that's been in the locker room. So, like, it is well said. Like, back in the day, in the early 90s, you had, before a lot of these guys passed away, like Yogi Berra would be in the locker room all the time, and Reggie Jackson, and all these guys from history that he's learning from. And he was the consummate professional, right? And I think that's a lot what Judge is doing now, is kind of learning from him. But I thought about Mariano Rivera. You know, tell me the stories about A-Rod and that whole beef that you had, the runs of, you know, all the World Series championships, the dynasty. Just there's so many stories that we could talk about. And then what I think would be really cool to talk about was the fact that there was always this like rumor that he would like wine and dine all these beautiful women, right? And then he would bring them home and he would leave them with an autographed baseball and all these crazy stories. But what's crazy to me is that he stayed single all the way until he retired. And now he's starting a family late in life. Beautiful wife. He's a girl dad. And just kind of tell us how that is now, late 40s, mid 40s, late 40s, going into being a girl dad and what that all is like. You know, he would just have so many just insane stories for me. The clash with the Red Sox back in the 90s there was none better. I mean, like, it was primetime TV. So many stories. You knew the Yankees were going to show up. This is the one time they're going to be here. Thank goodness for all of you guys. But, you know, I almost thought Mickey Mantle. But if my dad was still around, he would have been the guy. But, yeah, I'm going Jeter.
Nice. Great pick.
I don't know enough of Jeter to know if he would be. I mean, obviously, if you have the fandom of the Yankees, he would mean a lot for sure. And I'm not debating him being one of the greatest, right? You know, especially that whole career with the team. I just don't know how exciting the conversation would be for me. But again, it's not my list, so I get it.
Right.
He doesn't seem like a very enthusiastic guy. Like,
what's up, Prime? He's not enthusiastic, but he is so knowledgeable. Like,
it's just a different type of conversation. I get it. Whoa.
It would be definitely a different kind of conversation. And he doesn't drink, so he wouldn't be bringing the alcohol, right? You know.
But again, you already have Stone Cold at your dinner. So
you also,
yeah.
You know.
You also have Euchre at your dinner too. So there you go.
Oh, we're all together.
We're all together. We're just bringing everybody. Yeah.
All of us together.
A big table. Breaking bread, right?
All right. Jeter. I know you guys aren't Yankee fans, but I see Isaac. Isaac is a Yankees fan. He said Jeter was a close pick for me, but I'd probably go Judge. Barely on another day, I'd probably go Jeter. Yeah, and Judge would be also a great pick. And like kind of what he's going through. Obviously, he doesn't have any chips yet. He's had a few close shots, a few MVPs, a couple trophies. I just don't think the stories would be as awesome. I think he might be a better person to talk to. But yeah, John Cena is a good pick, Isaac, says
Mhm.
Bryce. So, hey, let's jump into halftime, right? So before you guys head out, make sure you hit the like button. That would be amazing. That's the one thing I would love for you guys to do. Obviously, we also would love for you guys to come back and drop a comment if you could. Now that we're doing these lives, our shows don't get it nearly as many comments because you guys watch them live. But it would be really awesome if you see the show, drop a comment, maybe saying, what's your least favorite for people, go to the opposite. Tell us something about that. But a couple things are coming up, Andy. First off, you have two more shows with me, and then you're going to be off until December.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. We are not doing Thanksgiving episode currently. We're not doing a Thanksgiving episode or a Christmas episode this year. We're gonna take that time to spend with our family, but we may go live for like a Friday morning fellowship. I'll be off. I'm sure you'll have some time off. We might do some of that. Maybe we'll get some snow again. That was a big video. But because that we're going to be off on Thanksgiving, and the 2 weeks prior to that, Andy, you are going to Argentina.
Yes.
And you're fully funded, correct?
I have been fully
Bryce
funded.
was a part of fully funding that. Thanks, Bryce.
Thank you, Bryce. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, so you're going to go and preach the gospel, build some churches in Argentina. And that would be a good probably person to have over, Messi with all the good Argentine food. But I digress. So we won't have you. So we got you 2 more weeks. But also 3 weeks from now, Andy, I believe it's 3 weeks, is the St. Tammany Collectors Con. And St. Tammany Collectors Con, it's either 3 weeks or 4 weeks. It's one of those weeks that you're out. I will be eating all those banana peppers. No, that's what Barry said, eating all those banana peppers. I will be at the St. Tammany Collectors Con. Gunn from Guardians of the Galaxy is there. I'm going to try and maybe get a little interview with him and talk with him. But I'll be preaching Nerd in the Word, probably focused on a Guardians of the Galaxy type deal. I can go a lot of directions with that. Guardians of the Galaxy, whether in like part 1, with, daddy problems to, the team and all the crazy things that they've done. But Guardians of the Galaxy is one of my favorite series. They'll be there. 13 in the house. Make sure you hit the like. That's pretty much the most we've had all day. So if you're lurking in there, say hello. Number 2, Andy, thing I want to chat about is this. Now, Andy, I don't know if you went back and watched any parts of the show last week, but this is the beta. The beta. It's the beginning. I printed it out on paper at school. And
put you on full screen.
Barry, if you're there, you're in this, by the way. So let's show this. Coalition of Christian Creators Directory, where faith meets fandom, the complete guide to ministries, creators, and communities, bridging the geek culture and the gospel, and a good 1 Corinthians 10:31. Whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. This book is over 125, almost 135 Christian creators. It's in alphabetical order, and I have Barry's entry right here. And yeah, there he is. Barry, right there. Bing. Barry.
Look at it.
There it is. So I have Barry. I said a faith positive streamer who shares walks and nerd conversations. His channel creates prayer-friendly, encouraging community around the word. Now, we've got all kinds of people. Beneath the Tangles is like an anime. There's so many people in here that, welcome in. Yeah. So this book is kind of the beta. It's just a bunch of paper that I kind of paper clipped. But my plan is to kind of mass produce at least Andy, I'm thinking maybe 100 of these to have it at the convention. And then there's a couple people out there that would like us to send them over to them so they can use them at their conventions. A lot of people there's only one person that's been put in this book that kind of questioned it. And then once I told them what we were doing, we had a longer conversation. They're like, oh, cool, keep us in. Everybody has been excited to be in here. And Andy, I worked on this a while, and it's kind of coming to fruition. But just like our devotional books, I'm going to be doing some things like that and printing them out and kind of seeing where we go with the beta. It's a good. I think it's perfect size. Like, it's not too big. I think it was about maybe about 10 pages folded, 8 pages folded. But anyways, that's something that we're working on. If you are a Christian creator. Now, Bryce, I know you mentioned that you want to be in here, and I know Dark Link mentioned to be in here. You guys are kind of on the cusp. I would love for you guys to be in it. I was thinking to add you into something a little different, because we're gonna highlight you guys. But I want to make sure that and Bryce, I know that you love the Lord. I just want to make sure that if I tell somebody to go here, that they're going to get like Christian content always. And sometimes when we're on the fringes, there's times where we're kind of doing some other stuff. And that doesn't mean I can't recommend everybody, but I want to make sure that when I give this to somebody that that's what they get. And so Bryce, I have some plans for that too. So stay tuned, and I'm gonna have some of that too. The next thing that I want to talk about, Andy. Well, let's let you talk a bit. Tell us all about. Let's do coffee. Tell us all about coffee. By the way, we have a new video. Did you upload that?
Yes, I just did as you were talking.
Oh yeah. So let's do our new video today for our Culture Box guy. So let's do those two things right now.
All right. So you want coffee first?
Let's do coffee. Tell. I'm thirsty. I need some coffee.
So if you guys enjoy coffee, you should check out the official coffee of the Rushmore Show, Village Coffee. Check it out.
Let's face it, at-home coffee can be pretty stale. Coffee at home doesn't have to be boring. The Village Coffee is here to deliver the flavor. The Village Coffee roasts coffee every week and sells online. Go to villagebeans.com to order your coffee today and use discount code RUSHMORE for free shipping.
That is our official coffee of the Rushmore Show, Village Beans. It's the only coffee that I drink right now, to be honest with you. But it is my favorite. I am hooked on Mexico. That's what I've settled on. That is my number one blend. But there's a couple different ones on there, and like we said, you can use promo code Rushmore to get free shipping.
Let's talk about this guy right here.
There he is. All right, we've got a brand new video for our friends over at Culture Box. Check it out.
Hey kaiju lovers, looking for a podcast that's a fun listen and takes big monsters seriously? Then check out the Monster Island Film Vault, a podcast seeking entertainment and enlightenment through tokusatsu. Host and film curator Nate Marchand and his rotating roster of guest hosts take academic yet fun deep dives into the wide world of giant monster films and TV, discussing their artistic merits, or lack thereof, and their historical and cultural contexts, giving you a greater appreciation for an underappreciated genre. You'll hear about Godzilla, King Kong, Gamera, and more, while also getting a crash course in toku topics, ranging from history to sociology to science. Along the way, you'll hear audio drama segments chronicling Nate's many misadventures on Monster Island with a colorful cast of characters, like his intrepid producer, Jimmy from NASA. So pay a visit to the Monster Island Film Vault at monsterislandfilmvault.com.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, Nathan in Monster Vault is the newest entry to the Culture Box. Matter of fact, I was just on the Culture Box Tuesday, and we reviewed the Mothman Prophecies over at Retro Rewind Podcast, and we had the curator of the Untold Stories, which we haven't done that one in a while, Andy, but he was on as well. So yeah, it's Pastor Appreciation Month. Oh, another tutty, I think, by McConkey. They're killing them, dude. 20-3, kicking the extra point. Jay Thompson in the house. Vogs' dad, internet dad. Top 4 dinner dates. Dennis Anderson, Gravedigger. Molly Holly. Yeah, wink, wink. I know what you're thinking there. Jordy Nelson.
There you go. There you go, Alex.
There's a Packer. There's a Packer. And Joey Chestnut, the competitive eater. So I put him on our tag.
I don't want to eat with Joey Chestnut.
I don't know. I think Joey Chestnut's the last guy I want at my house.
Yep.
And Pete Weber. Like, he's the best ever. I love Pete Weber. I can't believe you don't have any Cubbies up there, Jay Thompson. Jay Thompson is a Cubs fan. Huge Cubs fan. So we got all these Cubs fans today. We got Alex, Jay, and Papa. All these Cubby fans, man. They had a good run this year.
They fell into the playoffs. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They fell into it.
Yeah. So
they did have a good run.
Anyways,
you could always be the Angels.
That's true.
Yeah. So I think that's it for our commercials for right now. Oh wait. We have to highlight a member, and we always do Bryce because Bryce is on. But why don't we do Iowa? We haven't done Iowa in a minute.
Yeah, let's get that. Here you go. Check out Iowa Retro Gaming Dad. Check him out.
Zach, the Iowa Retro Gamer Dad, brings heart, honesty, and heat to retro gaming, collecting, and pack ripping with his son. From tackling addiction and mental health to calling out scalpers and celebrating nostalgia, this channel is where real talk meets real fun. Follow the journey at youtube.com/@Iowa Retro Gamer Dad. And also follow along on Instagram and Twitch.
Bro, that was the first time I've seen that. You know, they started these new kicking rules. Are you watching the game?
No.
Anybody? They started these new kicking rules where you have to land it in the plane, the spot. Yep. This guy went to kick it, and it went off the side of his foot, and it hit one of his linemen or whatever that run down in the back of the leg.
Oops.
He didn't even he like slipped. Yeah, it hit him right in the back of the foot. Nobody moved. So I wonder what the penalty is for that. Like, does it start from that spot? Because you can't do onside kicks no more, right?
Nope.
I don't know the rule. Dicker the kicker. Oh, they're starting.
Kick is when it's 40.
Oh, he gets it on they're on the 41. They start at the 41. So it must be where it hit him. I don't know.
Illegal
touching. So anyways, All right, so Alex, you're up.
Hey, real quick, I do want to say this before we go, Alex. Jay just said he's got a AAA team for the Cubs in his hometown. We have a AAA team for the Milwaukee Brewers, not far from here. They are the Biloxi Shuckers. There they are.
Nice.
We went to a game not too long ago, and total blast, man. A lot of fun. We got, Anyway, I just wanted to shout that out. But Alex, you're up next on your list for dinner date athletes.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, I had a list of lots of people on here. This one was on the list and moved up. I'm kind of taking, like I said, the different sports on eras. This guy, let's see. One of the best football players, and I'm not talking football as American football players in the world.
Soccer.
Following one of my favorite soccer players has ever played from the same country. Loves his Michelob Ultra, I think, because the commercials tell me he does. And
He loves
it's
the
one
check
of,
he gets.
and Andy's going to be in his home country pretty soon. So, and he mentioned him briefly. Someone mentioned him. So, my number is Lionel Messi.
Yes.
Lionel
nice.
Messi. Like I said, I could have gone in so many different directions. I look at it this way: is not only did he continue to bring Argentina continue on the map, which is my favorite team for World Cup. He continues to make him that much better. And watching him play in the last World Cup, and then what he's able to do, bringing with Inter Miami, what he's able to do to that with that team, and just anywhere he goes, he just makes those teams better. And to me, it's
Aaron's
exciting
love
to
it. Aaron
see.
loves it.
It's exciting to see that Diego Maradona is my other one. It's exciting to see they come from the same area, played in the same clubs, followed the same footprint, and like I said, it's just a great. It would be a great conversation to have with him. Of once again, he was so young when he started playing. How do you follow a legend? And then even at that point, even go further than that legend did. So to me, like I said, Lionel Messi.
I absolutely approve this pick out for obvious reasons. I love Argentina. We went first time back in 2022, and right after we left, World Cup happens. It's crazy. So we were in Buenos Aires, and we were in the main downtown area with the obelisk. If you've ever seen the pictures in Argentina, the obelisk out there. And we went,
I live there.
We went just sightseeing. What's that?
I grew up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. So we were there, just kind of sightseeing for the day. It's a really cool thing. And, a month or so after we got back home, we see shots of that area, people literally climbing up this thing and these trees, flooding the streets, celebrating, cheering on Argentina. And I've just kind of adopted that as like, I love everything Argentina now. So I'm here for it. I love this pick. He's always the one when they're saying, is it Messi or is it, what's his name? The other guy.
Exactly. What's his name?
Yeah, I'm always Team Messi. I'm just doing that not because I really care about soccer, but I just love Argentina that much. So it's a great pick.
He started playing at 12. At 12. I mean, you think about that.
When we go to Argentina, we go to these little remote villages, and we're playing soccer with these kids. And I'm like, I'm gonna stay back here. Y'all kick it to me. I'll try to get in the goal. I'm not running around with you kids because this is.
I grew up there, and so I started kindergarten. My dad worked at the international schools, and that's how we lived there. We lived in Buenos Aires, and that's how I actually learned how to play soccer. Was there.
Yeah.
Now,
that's awesome.
I'm not a great soccer player, but I started with the '86 Argentine team in Maradona. That just became my team further on. So
I did
it's
not
great
know
the
this
fact that he
about
carries
you.
it on.
Why were you down in Buenos Aires?
So my dad worked for the international schools in Peru, Chile, and Argentina. He actually was one of the original Peace Corps volunteers in the 60s to South America. He's the first group that went down there in South America in the 60s. They're the first. And then he went back again, married my mom. We lived down there. We grew up there probably for the first 9 years of my life. And then he decided to move back to Wisconsin. So back to, small Wisconsin. But that's how I ended up down there. My dad, like I said, was the high school principal at the international school. So Lincoln School there in Buenos Aires is where I started school.
So you ate some asado, some empanadas,
all of that.
a lot of pizza. They do a lot of pizza in Buenos Aires too. It's a big deal down there. Yeah, love that.
So
I'm so excited to get all that stuff.
I covered your face up by putting this message because it's so long, but let me put it back up.
Yep.
Aaron Brown, he loves Messi, so he's the STEM teacher at my school. While I love
you just
Messi,
get him to like Paramore, I think he'd be a good guy.
And I think he's the greatest ever. He's very quiet and reserved. I don't think he'd be great at a dinner party. Maradona would be an awesome one to eat dinner.
Yes.
So here's the question I would ask him.
Sure.
Mr. P, Ronaldo or Messi? That's what I get all day long. Mr. P, Ronaldo and Messi.
Messi.
I mean, it doesn't
Messi.
happen as much this year, and it kind of died out last year a little bit. But my first 2 years there, it was more than 6, 7. Like it was probably 12 times a day. And I never wanted to answer because once you say either or,
Yeah.
the whole class goes crazy because it's about a 50-50 split at our school. And it's pretty funny. So, and I could care less. I mean, I always tell them, I'm like, these two are probably the greatest two soccer players, or at least both on the mountain of soccer players now, maybe even of all time.
Yeah.
You're splitting hairs.
But here's the thing. When you look at it, who's got the most, from a World Cup standpoint, right? That's the ultimate. Who's won the most?
Right. I mean, but
who's brought their teams?
We don't
Right, but who's brought their teams to the most? I mean, when you look at the two, Ronaldo's a great player. You can't take anything away from him.
Aaron says they all know my answer. Messi all day.
Yeah.
Messi all day. I will say Ronaldo. It's probably, it probably leans a little more Ronaldo than Messi at our school. Mainly, I think it's cultural. To be honest, like our school is super international. Right. And much more Ronaldo complected, if you will, than Messi complected. I think it has a lot because a lot of those kids, sometimes do you even watch soccer? And they're like, no. But some of them actually watch it every day, even here in the Atlanta area. It's pretty crazy. I know Aaron watches it. I go into his room all the time to eat lunch, and he's watching something soccer all day long, or in football. But yeah, good pick, man. I don't know that I would have a ton to talk with him, but yeah, definitely. I would probably just ask him what he feels about the other star players, Ronaldo or
what he thinks about when he's making, sudden death. Right, you go sudden death, and you're making those penalties, those shots. Like what's I mean, because you think about, if you watch him shoot, it's not like he puts a lot of power. He just knows exactly where to put that ball. It's really not.
I actually asked Aaron about this not long ago, and like Aaron was talking about how they watch video and see the tendencies, and like a lot of times the goalies just guess, and you have to guess the opposite, and it's just like that's crazy. That's crazy. All right, man, good pick, Andy.
Yeah,
who's next?
Next on my list. Again, I'm picking a GOAT of his field. This guy has more stories than we would have time to talk about. And in a way, maybe not from the outsider being like this super like I don't want to say passionate, but like excited conversation. But I believe this guy is one of the sneaky funniest people that are out there. So the type of conversation we would have would be great. Again, the GOAT who followed arguably the other GOAT. The fact that
the GOAT
he just went. I'm going Sir Nicholas Lou Saban. Nick Saban, Roll Tide, with all. He is my dinner guest, and I'm just shutting up and just tell me everything. I just want to hear the stories. In all honesty, obviously, I'm an Alabama fan. The types of stories that you hear from this guy are great. The fact that he is very, again, not going to be like, he's not, when they partner him with Pat McAfee, like yin and yang, right? It's so cool to see that energy difference. But Saban is funny too, and he'll just say things, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's just so good. And but some of the stories that he tells of his whole career, right? The early coaching days, the failed NFL time. He would demand greatness. So the fact that, like, if anything got sent to us from the restaurant that was not perfect, even if it was dessert, if it was the fourth quarter and we were already up, we had the greatest dinner ever. He would complain about the placement of the chocolate chips on the anyway. But no, that's all kidding. I would eat with Nick Saban, and I would just want you to I would soak up everything that he said over that time. It would be amazing. I mean, obviously, I talked to him about, all of the coaching tree, the part being with Bill Belichick, being basically the Belichick of college football, and maybe talk about even some of the experience of the Miami Dolphin days, and how does he feel about the Alabama LSU thing, the fact that it's not a rivalry technically on the books, but it is. But talk about some of those. How does he feel when he coaches again? I mean, half the guys that are coaching now were under the Saban tree to some extent, and
Sure.
how does he feel coaching against the Kirby Smarts, the Lane Kiffins, all these guys that just came from his coaching, sat under his tutelage, right? So it would be an amazing time. The amount of athletes, professional, that he's coached and gotten into the NFL is just insane to think. The longevity of doing it. And then I'd talk to him about now his post-coaching career, right? How is it hanging out with Pat McAfee and being on College Game Day, and the change from being that guy at Alabama to now being the guy who's covering all of this stuff. So Nick Saban, it was only a matter of time before he made.
What are y'all eating? What are y'all eating?
Oh man, we're gonna eat the most expensive steak. We'll probably eat a tiger steak. You know what I mean? We'll eat a little War Eagle. Who knows? I feel like I would go to like a steakhouse with Nick Saban. It feels like that guy that we're going to but like a high class. What's that?
Tomahawks.
Yeah, I mean like high class. I'm not Outback, not Texas Roadhouse. Like this is the real deal steakhouse. Yeah, that's where I'm going with Nick Saban.
Yeah, this is one of the ones I had picked for you, obviously, for obvious reasons. And I'll be honest, he is on my honorable mentions, knowing that I wasn't going to get to him. For reasons that he was on my honorable mentions. One, that whole Alabama thing kind of. But on the other side of that, the flip side of that coin, all the things you said about picking the brain on, the coaching tree and all that. But like, what about, like his recruiting process, right? And walking into these people's homes, and some of these guys made it in the NFL. Like, did you see them because they had such raw talent that they were going to make it to the NFL, but they weren't going to make it in the NFL? You know what I'm saying? Guys that just didn't have the ethic. They helped us win because of raw talent, but once they hit there, they just didn't survive, right? Like the Trent Richardsons of the world. Like, tell me that story. Tell me Eddie Lacy, right? Tell me these guys that aren't, Jones or, the LSU rivalry, obviously. Tell me about Les Miles, right? Like playing against Les and the madness. There's so many questions I would have. He is much more likable when he's not on the side of now that he's on game day. I love
like him. Yeah.
I love listening to him because of his knowledge for the game. He is very quick-witted. He's very quick. Like he's got a quip to him. And he's very tongue-in-cheek. He'll say some things that and it's made news now. But you mentioned announcers earlier. This is like one of those guys. I was like, yeah, I have a guy on my list that's announcer, right? Or analyst, but he was a coach at one time. And this is kind of the people that I was talking about that are mainly on that list. This is a great pick. I knew you were going to pick it. I just knew. I mean, it is what it is.
I would say it's the same one. I mean, I'm with you, Kirk. I like listening to Nick Saban on College Game Day. It's fun watching him interact with Pat McAfee. But even like this last week, I was Coach Franklin, the coach who got fired from Penn State, and it was really interesting to see how Coach Saban was interacting with him. And because, like, I mean, the guy got fired, 5 days ago, right? And all of a sudden he's on College Game Day. And he's talking about, where he's still processing. And you could see, I'm going to use the word, he could see that empathy coming off of Saban, just saying, hey, it's their loss, right? We've all been there. I'm here, helping. And you could see that coaching fraternity almost live. And he wasn't talking to the audience. He was talking straight to the coach.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the coolest thing. That was like, you don't get to see that side of Saban ever. But the fact that it was, I'm sure it was totally unscripted. And once again, it wasn't, it was genuine. And that's the one thing that I noticed was the first.
He's got good stories too.
I like the story that he told.
And I would like to,
Yeah, I like the story that he told his first year when they lost to ULM.
Yeah,
The story.
Gas
And he
station.
went to the gas station to go fill up gas or to get whatever, and he was talking in there, and the guys in town are talking about the game and how they lost, and it's a big upset. And he said, "Oh, it's not going to happen again. Basically, we're going to win." And the guy in the gas station said, "I mean, as long as we get rid of that Saban or that coach or whatever, something like to that effect, as long as we don't have that coach, we'll win or something like." And again, that's 2006 or whatever it is, and
or his life at Michigan State, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
Hey.
I mean, he's got to be up there for sure.
Yeah, it's a good pick. Yeah, and anybody that would doubt that this is not going to be a great, even if you're an Auburn fan, Barry, seriously, it would be nice to be on the opposite side to ask questions about the rivalry and the Iron Bowl and what happened, what made you kick that ball as opposed to, just different things like that. It would be worth.
Yeah. What made you pick Culpepper over Drew Brees in Miami? And talking about that whole deal.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm going to jump into mine.
He's Rushmore and Nick Saban. No.
I am kind of Rushmore, I guess. But now it's Saban. I love where you're going with this, Andy. You said the greatest coach of all time. That's who I'm picking. I'm Rushmore with the greatest coach of all time. I'm going with Mr. Cheeseburger himself. I'm going with Big Red, Andy Reid. Listen, you want to talk stories? You want to talk about just a coaching tree? You want to talk about GOAT status? If anybody is challenging Belichick, right, and especially seeing what happened after Brady left and seeing what's happening now at UNC, I love that, but he's bringing a ton of burgers. He's bringing the meats. Where's the meat? It's very well known. He loves cheeseburgers. That's what we're having for dinner. It's kind of like Popeye, right? You're going to have that guy just eating all the burgers, but the entourage, right? Both Eagles and Chiefs. There it is. Yeah. The entourage, right? Call Mahomes, call up Kelsey, call up Taylor Swift. Yep. Call them all up. Get Rashee Rice, Worthy. But go back. We got Tyreek Hill. We've got Terrell Owens, Donovan McNabb, just so many different people, and all the coaches that have come under him. And let me tell you, you talk about a good dude and a guy that knows everything. This guy, every interview, I just kind of sit and listen and yeah, because even people that hate the Chiefs, right? Like I hate Alabama, but when Saban talks, I lean in. Right? If you hate the Chiefs, when Reid talks, there's just a way that he handles himself. He never throws his guys under the bus. Somebody said it the other day. I don't remember who it was I was watching, but you saw Tua, right, throw shade all over his team, right? And then when the Chiefs were down and out 0-2, and then moving forward now back on the top of the mountain at 4-3, and being Super Bowl contenders and all that, one of the things they said was one of the big deals is Andy Reid, because Andy Reid makes sure the locker room isn't talking all that chatter. They what do you do to handle the problems? He always starts slow, finishes really strong at the end. most wins. I mean, so many different things. The conversations I would have, though, honestly, is how do you feel about leaving Philly, right? And them kind of just selling you when you brought them to like 4 NFC championships out of 5, I think. Speaking of, Barry's back, 3 or 4 out of 5, whatever it was. How was Terrell Owens? That's a big one. Like, tell me about Terrell Owens and that whole thing. And then obviously, what's the difference? Like, what made you lean in and go, an Alex Smith's a 4,000 receiver, a quarterback, and you have good receivers, young Kelsey, young Tyreek Hill. What makes you go, hey, let's go get this guy out of Texas Tech, right? And nobody was really, and they made one of the biggest deals ever. I'm going to go Andy Reid. Patrick Mahomes would have been too easy. And like the other things, even like I thought Okoye, I thought Derek Thomas, Joe Montana, but to me, Andy Reid is the one guy in all NFL history that I think I would enjoy having conversation. I would feel like I'm welcomed. I would feel like I'm part of the family. He's going to bring good food, and he's going to have great stories. That's who I want to talk to. And he's not weird like Belichick.
No.
Yeah, he would be enjoyable to have company. I will say this about Andy Reid, though. If I don't ever have to see him on another commercial again, I'll be happy.
But that's funny. I would ask him about that because he's not good at it, right? Like,
if I never have to see him on a State Farm commercial again, I'm here for it. But no, I like the pick. I would ask him about the old punt pass kick competition.
Oh yeah, that too. Thank you. Have you guys ever seen that? Like he won the punt pass kick back in when
he was like 6'3".
Yeah,
250 pounds.
Yeah.
He looks like what was his name?
His jersey is like a tube top.
It's cut off.
Quarterback from Kentucky. What was his name? Jared Lorenzen.
He looks like the kid from. He looks like the kid from Recess. The big kid. You know, that's exactly what he looks like.
Yeah.
Hanging out. Yeah, I love it.
I'm gonna pull that up. Andy Reid punt pass kick.
While you're looking that one up, I mean, you think about Andy Reid. As a Packers fan, right? Think the 1992 Green Bay Packers coaching staff under Mike Holmgren had, look at this: John Gruden, Dick Duran, Steve Mariucci, Andy Reid, and Ray Rhodes. And I would love to talk. It's like, what was that first year like? Because I mean, when you think about it, Green Bay was a mess when Mike Holmgren came on board, and he brought all these people in. Like Andy Reid, I think, played quarterback for him at one time, and he brought all these people in that he had worked with in the past, and he's putting this team together in an area where nobody wanted to come to play. Right? I would have loved to sit down and say, okay, what was that first? Once again, it goes back to my first pick. What was that first conversation like? What did you guys talk about? How are you going to change that organization? And then in that same conversations, what did you learn from that conversation?
Much larger he is.
Yeah. Than everybody else. What did you take from that to take to Philly, to take to KC?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the similar styles is like the same thing. So, and of course, his coaching tree is
hey, Papa, welcome back, bro.
So
one of my favorite conversations was he really protected the quarterback, right? And I'm pretty sure it was Favre that got into it with Holmgren, right? And he like walks over, he's like, bro, I got you, right? And like he's kind of like going behind Holmgren's back, right?
Yeah,
and being like,
yeah. It's a great video because it's even on video. You can see him go, yeah, it's on me. Because he was throwing like interceptions he's like, pull him out.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. And that tree really even comes from Holmgren, right? And then he went to Seattle.
Yeah.
But yeah. Awesome.
Great pick.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love this. All right. So we are to the George, best guy ever. or best person ever to be at your house. Well, who? The George. Yeah, I'm thinking, Alex. So you're going sport after sport. It's got to be basketball. You're a Chicago guy. I'm thinking Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah. Yes. Well, you know, so here's, I'm going to tell you, I had five on my list. Okay. And it's really hard. Larry Bird was on the list. That would have been fun. Barkley,
which was on Barry's list.
Barkley was on my list. Dennis Rodman. Always loved Dennis. The other one I had on my list was Shaq. Why not? That'd be fun. But he'd eat all the food. But my George is Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean, greatest ever, right? You know, I told you earlier on, grew up as a Bulls fan in the 90s. I mean, you had to watch every game. And honestly, if he hadn't retired, the Bulls would have won eight in a row. Hands down. The teams that won in the years that the Bulls didn't win were basically, they played. But if Jordan would have played, no way. 8 years in a row. That would have been the dynasty right there. And if he would have stayed in Chicago, they could have easily been at 10. I seriously believe they could have made 10. Jordan, yes. Would he probably, I think once you get him going, he'd be a great conversationalist. And maybe he wouldn't talk about himself so much, but it'd still be so much fun to sit back and hear the stories of like, how do you know, and you watch the Netflix on, The Last Dance, you get an insight into kind of what he was thinking, bringing Rodman and the story with Rodman going to Vegas is hilarious to me. The stories about, with him or Scottie Pippen, and then just how he took things so personal. I'm like, wow, how do you even get into that mindset? So really sitting down, and I would love to bring everybody else at the table. I think those would be some great conversations with him there. So, to me, it's Jordan, hands down.
This is. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I just don't know if I would enjoy the conversation enough. I'm not arguing that it would be a great one. I also would worry that there would be cigar smoke everywhere.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I'm outside. We're outside with smoke. I'll pull mine out too.
If it's outside, maybe that's one thing. Yeah,
I agree. I honestly thought Jordan first, right? Because here's the thing. When you start to put these lists together, you think GOATs, right? You think all the top best players. So like, I got to eat dinner with, Michael Jordan. But in reality, when I leaned back, I was like, I probably would rather have Phil Jackson.
I had Phil on the list. Yep, Phil was on the list.
And so that was one of the that was one of the ones when I said I'd probably have rather Phil that I started to kind of think of, if I had Phil over, and then he could tell me all about Jordan and Pippen, but he could also tell me about Shaq and Kobe. And the stories would change. So I thought, I think maybe I would go a different route. I didn't pick Jordan. He's obviously on my honorable mentions, but for all the same reasons, I'm out. Yeah. So so that's the But
and you know what? Because you took him off your list, and he took it personal.
Yeah, he did take it personal. Yeah, he's watching right. He's watching right now.
He's
going to get a call tomorrow.
Coming out of retirement, to take over the show.
I would ask him a lot about Space Jam.
Yeah, Space Jam would be a question.
That's not fun.
It'd be a big topic of conversation for me. How do you feel about the new one? What was it like working with Bill Murray?
I would like to ask him a lot about the Bobcats. That was a failure for him. I would like to ask him a lot about the White Sox. I don't think it was necessarily a failure, but it was a cool endeavor with the Barons. And I think I would love. I mean, obviously, you would talk about the rings, right? You would talk about those championships. But even more so, like, tell me about UNC, man. That run you had back in college, and tell me about the historic, famed story that you got cut. Why'd you get cut? What happened? Tell me about it. So, from your high school team, yeah.
You took it
Last
personal.
Team is phenomenal. I finally did watch it. I don't know that I finished it though.
It's really good.
I did start back in year 1, maybe year 2. We talked about documentaries, and I got a ton of backlash because I hadn't watched it yet. And so I did start watching it, and I think I probably only have like 1 episode left. I don't know why. I don't think I finished, but it is awesome. It is awesome. Good pick, man. Good.
I like it. Mine, George. I'm gonna go with arguably probably the most fun that I would have at dinner. We need some extra leg room at the dinner table wherever we're finding ourselves here. Maybe we'd even order Papa John's. We'd keep it light because I'm going with
Yes.
Big Aristotle. I'm going with Shaquille O'Neal. We're gonna have dinner together, and we're gonna talk about Charles Barkley. I'm going Shaq, dude. I mean, let's be honest. Who do I want to have dinner with and have a conversation with? As much as I love Saban and he's the GOAT for me, this is going to be the most fun dinner. It's having Shaquille O'Neal there, right? Because there's so much to talk about. There's the Lakers, there's the Magic, there's all of the commercials, right? There's the back between him and Charles Barkley. I just want to hear him rib on Charles Barkley. Which is some of the funniest stuff in the world. When you hear Charles Barkley say, like, just go to YouTube after this and look up Shaq and Charles Barkley back and forths, right, on NBA Tonight or whatever it is.
When he falls into the Christmas tree,
Dude, it is when Barkley says something and doesn't realize that he said something questionable.
Yeah.
And Shaq just like looks at the camera and can't stop laughing. It is the most entertaining TV there is. But I mean, he's great with that. I mean, we talk about the movies. We talk about all of those different things, man. The rap career. I mean, just everything about Shaq is fantastic. The DJ, right? The being a DJ, like
police
this
officer.
guy is a living, walking party, and it is awesome. He would be the most entertaining dinner guest for sure. I'm bringing him on. Literally, we talk about the general car insurance. We talk about icy hot. It would be limitless what we would be talking about. Papa John's, everything. I love this.
Yeah.
I would have all of the conversations in the world, and I would have a blast of a time if I could have dinner with Shaq.
That'd be great. Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
Just keep talking.
And Alex, you said I thought about Shaq. You didn't think long enough because tell me about Shaq, Alex.
Once again, Shaq is one of those guys where I think Andy summed it up. He's a party. Everywhere he goes. I mean, he goes from Orlando. He goes to Los Angeles. He goes to Phoenix. He goes, to Boston. Everywhere he goes, it's just everybody gravitates to the big man, right? And even at the end of his career, everybody still respected him, still kind of gravitated to him. But the way he was able to transition that to, being as a analyst, right? It's like nobody really thought that Shaq was really that smart. And then all of a sudden you really start listening to him. And you're like, that guy actually knows a lot. But he does it in such a way that you don't feel like he's condescending, but he's talking to you at the level, right? And I think that's in his relationship with Barkley. Barkley is my other one. I love Barkley. I love Barkley growing up. And so the fact that those two together, that would be a lot of fun at dinner, right? You have to put them separate. It's just watch them go back and forth.
Opposite ends of the table.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I totally agree. Here's some fun facts. He's a doctor, right? He's got a Bachelor of Art when he was at LSU. See, that's what they do. They're like, this could be in there.
Bachelor of Arts. Okay.
But then he went back and he got his MBA at University of Phoenix in 2005 in business administration, right? And then he went back and got his doctorate at Barry University with a GPA of 3.81. And then he all the commercials. You said the rap, right? Shaq Diesel was his name. Fushnickens was the group that he rapped with. I've been having it behind me all day. Shaq Fu.
Shaq Fu.
Right there he is. There, zoom in on that bad boy. Shaq Fu, right there.
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah. Look at that. So let me scroll back. But yeah. So he's a policeman. He's been to 50 different teams. He's a champion for a 3-point. So if you guys know basketball, right? Jordan won MVP 3 years, and then Olajuwon won 2 years, and then Jordan won 3 years again, and then you had a couple guys sprinkled in, and then like 2000, 2001, 2002, or 2001, 2002, 2003. Can't remember what it was. It was Shaq.
Yeah.
That period of life, he was the best basketball player ever to exist, including Jordan, including LeBron. Like if Jordan would be playing, and this is a hot take, if Jordan would be playing, they play totally different positions, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But just nobody could have. He was just that mountain of a man. That's why they brought in the Shaq. He was unstoppable, right? And then he's like, "Oh, you're going to make me shoot," which is not something I ever have done. But on top of that, the marketing, the big Aristotle, all of the
Taco Bell commercial,
nicknames, the commercial,
Blue chips.
and that was the next thing. What are the questions I'm asking him? How was it to work on Blue Chips with Nick Nolte, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Anthony Hardaway, your teammate? How was it? Because there's a big story about how he was going to re-sign with the Magic before he went over to Bus and got lined up with the Lakers. What was it like hanging out with D-Wade before LeBron, right? You won that championship of that way. Like there's so many amazing things. Tell me about he has like an affinity for cars, and there's like so many different cars where like he's got like a Mini Coupe Mercedes where he's ripped out all the front and he sits in the back. So big, right? Like tell me all about that. Can we take a spin in that? Like, but on top of that, the entourage. And this is what made me bring in the entourage category, right? Which made me flip from, say, Mahomes to Reed. And originally I was thinking Joe Torre instead of Jeter and just some other things. But the reason is when you got Shaq, like every single NBA player in history would be at this dude's party, right? Nobody hates this guy except for Kobe when they played together. But then you come to find out it was really just competitive nature, and they ended up loving each other. So, like, who would be at that party, right? Charles and Kenny and Kobe and like just so many people, Penny and Wade and LeBron. They would all come. Like, you better have some room because he's calling the party. He's DJing it. He's bringing food. He's got to bring a lot of food because he's hungry. Now, I will say this. Personally, he's not the greatest role model, right? He's got a lot of mistakes, and we all do. But if I want to have, like, in all of sports, who would I want to be my best friend? Shaquille O'Neal, for sure. Now, there's a couple other guys I could think of, but yeah, definitely my George. And he was my George from the beginning. Once I saw this, way before even Alex was entered, okay, who's left? I love how you added Papa John's, Andy. When I put this in Chat GPT, and I said, tell me all the foods that these people would have. First off, it said Stone Cold would bring beer.
Okay.
It said Jeter would bring steaks, high-class steaks. It said Reed would bring the cheeseburgers. and it said, "Well, of course, Shaq's bringing pizza and wings."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, that's hilarious." Pizza. And wings.
You can go to the general and save some time too if you need some insurance. But I love this
hot.
obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love all the celebrity
Jack owns
impressions
Krispy
of
Kreme in
Shaq.
Atlanta. He sure does. He owns a lot.
Oh, he'd bring dessert too. How about
He
that?
and Zach, I didn't even see you sneak on in there. How you doing, man? Penny was from Chicago in that movie. Yeah. I saw a thing today. What's those guys I seen? Kevin on Stage. I love watching him and Tony. One of the ones they did were the top 4 black athletes of all time. And Tony leaned in and said, you got to have Shaq and Penny. We'll just put them together. They're like the same player in that movie. Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Great picks. Great picks.
Great picks. Now, look, the honorable mentions are just as good. I've got some bangers coming up. I hope you guys are ready. Let's do this thing. Let's end this show right like we always do. We're going to talk about our honorable mentions. We call them Benjamins if you've never been around here. But here we go. This game isn't very interesting. I thought it was going to be much better than this. It's 24-6. Carson Wentz looks terrible. So all about the Benjamins is our honorable mentions. You guys, most of y'all have all been around here, but we talk about who missed the mountain because Benjamin Franklin missed being carved in the mountain. And so Alex, Andy, me, Andy, Alex, Andy, me, Andy, Alex. Alex, you get the Mr. Irrelevant today. Heroes, just which it could be Brock Purdy. That'd be a good one. Anyway,
I don't want to go eat dinner with Brock.
I don't want to eat it. No. But let's go through and who missed your mountain today. Now remember, you're trying to beef up that roster. And if you think one of us might take him on, you might want to take it now because we cannot crush more anymore.
Okay.
Cannot say anything that's been mentioned or will be mentioned. Now, it has to be an actual pick. If there was some stuff kind of thrown out there, like entourage-ish, no, the actual pick.
The actual pick. Okay.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Said his name a few times. Sir Charles Barkley.
There you go.
There he is.
There he is.
That's why I threw that out there. I heard you say that, and I was like, I bet he's going to want to pick Barkley because we already mentioned. So I want to make sure that's clear. Yeah, Barkley's a good pick. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
Auburn guy, dude. Between him and Randy Moss, I don't think you could be more country. Got a gambling problem. Keep your coins away.
Yep.
But
a little bit.
So good pick, man. I agree. One of the reasons I wanted Shaq was to bring Charles and talk about Charles.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun.
Round mound a rebound.
Yeah, and he will bring good food. I'm sure of it.
Absolutely.
Sure of it.
Oh, yeah. That's terrible, man. That's terrible. My first Benjamin. This dude would just be fun conversation. It'd be a little crazy, but it'd be a lot of fun. I'm going head coach John Gruden. John Gruden has got to be at my dinner table.
Andy?
We can talk spiders. You like banana. We can go like, look at this guy right here. It would be a lot of fun to have Chucky at the dinner table.
Dude, I did not think of that guy.
Nope.
Oh man. Well, I'm gonna pick two heroes from Southern Louisiana. First off, I'm going with Mr. Forehead. The other commercial, I'm going Peyton Manning.
Good one.
Peyton Manning and his whole entourage is the Manning family. Dude, if you don't like the Manning cast, you just don't understand good TV. The Manning cast is hilarious. But also probably bringing pizza, right? I mean, I don't know. All right, so and then I'm going with Mr. Boilermaker, right? I'm going in Drew Brees.
Brees, the GOAT.
Drew Brees, man, dude, I'm getting 2 steals at
Wow.
pick 5 and 6.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
good. That's a good one.
Steal.
That's a good one.
And who's he bringing? He's bringing Sean Payton. That's who
Yeah.
he's bringing. He's bringing Sean
Yeah.
Payton. And what are we having? We're having New Orleans gumbo and all of that. Yes. All right. So Drew Brees, Peyton Manning. Wow. All right.
Well, next on my list, man, I'm just gonna make this table awesome. I've already got his counterpart. I'm going Pat McAfee. We got to bring Pat McAfee to
Well,
dinner.
he was on my list. That was the one guy. That was the announcer. I was like, dude, McAfee. Oh my gosh. Hey, I will say this. When we first got into YouTube, Andy, I sent you a video, and it was right after McAfee was kind of still small. He was, and when I say small, he was still kind of building up the YouTube channel and all that. And he sent a video about how he was about to launch, and he made the deal with
Yeah.
and I sent that to you, kind of like inspiration. I was like, look at this. I know obviously he's got bigger call on his life as far as like, because he had NFL background, but the WWE, all of that stuff too. I literally cried watching that video. And McAfee's not a guy that I'm going to normally cry about, but like he really went in, and I was like, I was sold.
Yeah. Pat McAfee is great TV, man.
Railbound, are you? Yeah, Papa Chucky. Or Railbound, are you a who dat? Are you from New Orleans area? Did I miss that in our conversation? I mean, we've only talked briefly, but anyways, Alex, you get 2 picks. 2 picks.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh,
Mr. John Madden.
Oh.
Oh.
Tough acting tonight.
Yes.
All
I don't know why I always think.
right, so the question is, we're definitely talking Raider football. Tell me about the owner, and tell me about the video game EA Sports. Tell me about that deal.
Did you know that it was going to go that far, right? Were you actually in the booth? You know, all those things, right? Just
Monday Night Football.
share the story.
Monday Night Football. I mean, gosh. Boom!
Yeah.
Dude, so here's the funny thing. So,
Turkey, the turducken. You bring a turducken,
yeah,
right?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings, which the guy who made that turducken's in New Orleans.
Okay.
I'm from Louisiana, born and raised, went to college at La Tech. All right.
Nice.
Go Dogs. Go Dogs. I like those dogs better than the dogs over here. So my sister went to La Tech, Growbound, and got her bachelor's there, her master's at Texas. Anyways, so when I used to frequent Buffalo Wild Wings a lot in Louisiana, and that's kind of where I became a lush, if you will. That was pre Iraq, I think. Alex. But anyways, there was a contest there. There was a contest there that we would watch Monday Night Football there, and the radio station would show up, and they would do all these contests, and they would be like, all right, so like this game right here. All right, so come put your wager, your bets. You would get these like fake money. Come put your bets on if you think that Vikings score first or the Chargers score first, whatever. And every single week, they would do a thing on Madden, and they would be like, place your wagers over under John Madden writing something on the screen within the first 2 minutes of this game.
Right.
And almost every time it was under. Almost every time. Like he's writing, like everybody be like, oh, but just a great character, man. Great character.
Well,
So
I balance him out with the other one. Hate the team. Basketball. Hate the team. but respect to Coach K.
Oh,
Ooh, I like it. I did not even think about. Well, actually, I did.
He
I
played.
thought-
I mean, think about who he played for. He played for Bobby Knight at Army. Went to West Point, played at Army, went and built his own dynasty. Right, kind of made his way. Kind of came
I
in.
didn't even know that he played at
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Bobby Knight.
Yeah.
Bobby Knight was his coach. Yeah, and
That's
so
a good bit of trivia I would have missed.
to me, that would be. I think Coach K would be great. I mean, you hear the story, and then obviously what he does later in life, right? Olympic teams. You're pulling all these, so that'd be fun. You pulled all these
Dude.
superstars in together.
Tell me about that. I forgot all about that. Yeah. When
Tell
we're
me
talking
what
to
that
Shaq,
experience, right?
when we're
That would
talking
be
to Jordan, we're talking to Shaq, we're talking about the Olympics. Well, tell me
Yeah.
about the games, dude. Yeah.
Mhm. So there you go. That would be another great conversation.
I love that pick.
And then
I
you
love
put
it.
him with Madden, right? One's very calm and reserved, and Madden's on the other side. So there you go. There's my two.
I like it. All right, so I'm next. This one is controversial in the sense of you don't maybe think of him as an athlete, although he did play college football at UNC Chapel Hill. But a huge part of me getting into sports as a young kid was because I would turn on ESPN Sports Center and I would watch the GOAT, Stuart Scott. Stuart Scott's at my table. He's got to be there when it comes to the greatest catch lines of all time, the greatest commercials that he was a part of. Cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Mm-hmm.
Just everything that he said. This talk about a fun conversation that we could have. Talking about all those things. I have to pick Stuart Scott. He is perfect. He's the GOAT. When it comes to
well, you boxed me into a corner. And I was thinking about picking a boxer, but I'm not taking him. I'm going with the
guy who's going to bring ears.
I'm going with the other side of that pillow, and I'm going with Dan Patrick.
I love it.
Yeah, Dan Patrick. And one of the reasons I wanted Dan Patrick is so he brings Stuart Scott.
With him.
But
dude, that one too right there.
Dude.
But I love Dan Patrick.
And I still love listening to Dan Patrick now. He's often on like weird channels and stuff. You have to catch him. But I love his takes a lot. That whole crew from the old late 90s, early 2000s, Baseball Tonight, ESPN Sports Center, the NFL, all those guys, Berman, like that party would be awesome.
Yeah. I will say this, though. When it comes to if I'm getting the entourage with it, and I love Dan Patrick, but to me, Stuart Scott and Rich Eisen were
Rich Eisen,
yes. Yeah.
Dude, the absolute best. Stuart Rich Eisen.
I still love Rich Eisen now.
Oh, he's great. I love Rich Eisen. Yeah. So
and then my last one, this one's a little pandering, if you will, to the crowd. It's not pandering, but I think when you talk about historical things and historical moments in the history of sports, I want to have Jackie Robinson.
Oh, yep. He was on
and
mine.
I want to just talk about. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about your journey. Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson. Tell me all about it. Because being a baseball fan and obviously being a minister now, and especially to people of color and of a lot of the people that being on the streets and talking to homeless folks and just people that are less than as the world sees it. Mm-hmm. I would just want to pick his brain and just think of just all the stories, his grandma and his mom and all that, the family stuff. I think this would just be a great one. Jackie Robinson.
Nice. Nice. I love it. All right. My last one here. You ready for my controversy? I saved it all the way to my last pick because I knew it would never even get mentioned.
Les Miles.
No. I mean, this is far more controversial. If we have a good friend that's lurking tonight, we'll maybe see a video on this. But I was thinking, I want to throw in some fictional athletes, some things like that. Now, this guy would be maybe the equivalent of like a coach in this sport. Although do you consider this a sport? Maybe it's a coach of professional fighting of some kind. I'm going to go with the one that was designated to catch them all. Ash Ketchum. Ash Ketchum. He showed up on a random list that I picked, and I said, I'm rolling with it just for the clout. That's what it's all about. Ash Ketchum enjoying. And
I thought I was pandering. You just pandered to the young crowd.
Hey, last time you were on, I picked Batman and Robin.
And Robin, yeah. I should expect that from you.
I was trying to think where you were going with this.
Yeah, so why not? It's the last Benjamin.
Ash.
I thought about Lightning McQueen, but he's only bringing fuel.
I thought he was going to say Logan Paul at one point.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, God. Poor Chase.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so finish off the
show for us.
All right, let me finish it up. But I did throw a question in the chat, so if any of you guys can answer it, go ahead and answer it.
Well,
where did Roger Staubach?
He was Navy, but did he begin somewhere prior to that? Okay, he was a midshipman. Oh, is he there? Ah,
I got to have. I didn't put him on my list because I actually had dinner with him. My first class dinner was with Roger Staubach. He was our guest speaker.
Wow!
At our graduation,
Wisconsin?
No, New Mexico Military Institute.
Oh,
that's where he started.
Nice.
So, yeah, he started there, and then he went to Navy.
Nice.
So that's where he started his prep career. But all right, my last one is this. I have two kids, both are swimmers. One's in high school swimming, the other one's they're both in club. When you think about swimming, it's you don't. To me, I look at it differently now because we've been doing this for years now, 8 years. A friend of mine just put this last week. We're just sitting around drinking and talking about both of our kids are swimmers. And you only see the 30 seconds, right? You only see the 45 seconds. You only see the minute, and they're in the pool, they're doing their thing. What you don't see is the 2 days during the week. You don't see the hours, like 3 hours in the pool. Beginning of the day, end of the day. And that's through not only high school, but through club as well. And they swim year round. And so when you think about how athletic you have to be a swimmer, my last pick is Michael Phelps.
Yeah, that's great. One of the great to go.
Yeah. And you think about, what he had to go through, swimming,
it would be a party.
How it is ADHD, right? It would be a party, right? Swimmers are a different breed. But what he had to go through as a kid, right? To, his mom put him in swimmer because he had a lot of energy. He had ADHD. He had all these things. And, for him, swimming was one of those things that helped calm him down and really focus him. So it is one of those things where I look at as it is personal to me, but it's also that is, what that he is on the mountaintop for swimming of what you put in the work to get to. And so for me, that would be my last one.
I love it.
That's awesome. Great pick.
Well, yeah. Just thinking about Olympics, right? I was racking the brain. He's just the first one that comes up. Somebody mentioned Bolt earlier. Aaron did. Mm-hmm. And then we talked about like the NBA guys, but just in general, yeah. I was thinking, is he going to throw a twist? Is it going to be like Ledecky or,
I had Ledecky on the list too. It was 1 and 2, but I went with Phelps.
Yeah. Greg Louganis. Are we talking divers? I don't know.
No,
but
divers.
Anyways, good pick, guys. Good job. Grailbound. Let's chat. Let's see what Thursday you want to be on. Alex, we figure out another time for you to come back on, man, soon. We love having you.
Same.
You are you're always bring great conversation to the table, and I love hanging out with you. It's been a blast.
Yeah.
You're Your Packers are doing well this year. Are they gonna make a run?
They'll, you know what? They got to cut down on penalties. That's it.
Yeah.
They got to cut down on penalties. I mean, this weekend will be fun against playing Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, so that'll be a fun game playing Rodgers. So
I saw a thing came across in one of those notifications says Rodgers would like to finish his career in Green Bay.
I saw that too.
I was like, what? What's he gonna do? Like sign for 10 minutes and retire?
Backup quarterback.
Because he's not gonna do that. Religious fanboy. By the way, you're also in the book. Get the book. Religious fanboys in the book. So many good folks are in here. If you guys want a copy of this book for yourself, you can print it out. You can go follow, like, subscribe. And if you do go visit any of these guys, let them know where you got it. Tell them that you're here because of the book. You can look at this at our website, rushmorereboot.weebly.com. A lot of things going on this week. Football is mid-season. Trade deadlines coming around. There you go. Click that right there and go to the ministry tab. And the book is there that you can see all the people on it. World Series is happening. Just a lot of good stuff. By the way, some of y'all asked my daughter. My daughter's team ended. She ended up breaking the batting average record and breaking the doubles record. And some of y'all asked, but we finished Sweet 16. So we didn't make the top Elite 8, unfortunately. So now we're moving on to travel, to club. So a lot of stuff coming up. Andy is going to Argentina. Praying, folks, pray for him. He's out there enjoying good food and building churches. Next week, we are doing top 4 of the let me get over here. Top 4.
Hey, just so you know, that's only on your screen, the 8 and the 4. So it's not. It's just your own personal. Like you're not getting blocked by that. People don't see that.
So, top 4.
Scary wrestlers.
Scary gimmicks. So, we kind of mentioned Undertaker, Boogeyman, potentially guys like that. So that's going to be next week with my friend Ohio, Brian Swartz. Patrick McCaskill is supposed to be on. I don't think he can make it. And then we're going to have Nick Venom on. He is from the World of Kayfabe. He's announcing something about the World of Kayfabe podcast. And then we're starting off food. We don't have a bunch of topics yet, but Dave Mattingly is going to come on. He's also in the book. Ben Schmaltz, which looks a lot like Andy, is going to be on the book. Going to be on the first week while Andy's in Argentina. The second week, we're going to have Elliot and Warren. Elliot is a chef in New Orleans. Warren is one of my friends from the neighborhood. And then we'll be off for Thanksgiving. And then we have Alexis is coming on to do soda. And I don't even remember all the people, but we got 2 other shows that are locked in. And then it's the new year. Can you believe we're almost going to launch year 5? Andy?
Wow.
And it's going to be a good time. Papa, we love you. We appreciate you. Thanks for being on here last week. Everybody go click that and you can get that book. Hit the ministry tab. If you do it, by the way, if you do it on your phone, it's right under the prayer request. You can't see it on your phone for whatever reason, but if you do it on a desktop, you can actually look at it on the desktop. But you're going to have to download it. You have to click the little link under the prayer request if you want to see it on your phone. So, anyways, love you guys. And Alex, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And we can't wait to have you again. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's go have some dinner. Again.
Let's do that.
Andy, tell everybody good night.
Hey, well, let's say goodnight like we always do. This is the Rushmore Show, where it's all about your top 4.
And nothing more.
Peace.